All right, first graders. So starting today, Wednesday, May 6th, we are going to start focusing more on some of the first grade tasks, math tasks, and also I'm going to give you some time to work through those PBS lessons. They were going to unroll 5 online lessons, but they have bumped that up to 10 lessons. So I want you all to be able to work through those because they're just great review of a lot of the highly focused skills for first grade. So it's good to hear that again and to hear it from someone else, and just to practice those skills again. So the first thing we're going to start with is looking at the task. So I put, I think, 5 tasks in your packet, and what a math task is it's a word problem, and it asks you to not just complete one step. A task often requires you to include some deeper thinking and sometimes walk through 2, 3, 4 different steps to get to the final answer, the end result that they're looking for. So if you all plan to work on these without my instruction, you are more than welcome to do so. Parents just know that this is something that they are meant to think deeply on and really be able to answer the question, but also explain themselves with complete sentences and thoughts supporting their answer. So for this example, this task, the first task is called the baseball cards collection task. And your word problem says John and Isaac are collecting baseball cards. So we have John and we have Isaac collecting baseball cards. Each of them have their own collection. So they each have a collection, and we want to use pictures and number sentences to describe the total number of cards in each boy's collection. Use pictures and number sentences to describe the total number of cards in each boy's collection. So then, down through the boxes, they are giving us pieces of information to help us solve. So in this first one, it says John. So we're focusing on John here. And he has 8 baseball cards. He receives or gets 4 more. So more is a key word for us to box because that tells us what we should do with that number. It gives us a hint what we should do. If he already has 8, and he receives 4 more, are we taking that away, or are we adding those 4 to what he already had? So that word more helps us know that we are going to be adding those cards to the 8 he already had. Okay, so he has 8 baseball cards. He receives 4 more cards for his birthday. Then his brother gives, so again, receives and gives. Gives is a word that is going to help us know and understand what operation to use. Gives him 3 baseball cards. So if someone gives you something, do we need to subtract that from the total or add that to the total? Right, so we are also going to be adding when we see that word gives. Now, if it was John who was giving cards away, then that word give would tell us something different. That would tell us subtraction. But his brother gives him 3 baseball cards. So John is getting more for his birthday, and then more from his brother. How many baseball cards does John have in his collection? So that's our question. That's what we want to find the complete answer to. So, using pictures and number sentences. So I'm going to create my number sentence first. So he starts with 8. So we have 8 baseball cards. He receives 4 more. So that's plus 4 more. His brother gives him 3. So that's plus another 3. He started with 8, got 4 for his birthday, and then his brother gave him 3. So 8 plus 4 plus 3. So that's our number sentence. And we could just use whatever strategy we wanted to add. But it says to use pictures and number sentences. So we want to draw out a model picture to help us solve this. So I'm just going to draw circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 1, 2, 3. So then I'm able to just count how many circles I have altogether. 8 plus 4. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 12 plus 3 more. 13, 14, 15. So that total is going to be 15 cards. So I'm even going to write a sentence here. John has 15 cards in his collection. And yes, that is absolutely a first grade requirement to be able to write the numbers, draw a picture to show how you're going to work that out, and to be able to put your answer in an understandable sentence so that I know you know what that 15 means. What does 15 tell us? 15 tells us that John has 15 cards in his collection. It represents the number of cards John has. Okay? So then the next problem tells us about Isaac. Okay? Isaac has 7 baseball cards. His sister gives him 5 more. So gives and more both tell us that this is going to be addition. His sister gives him 5 more cards. Isaac finds 4 more baseball cards. So if you find something and you keep it, both of these times we are adding to his original number. So how many baseball cards does Isaac have in his collection? So he started with 7. His sister gives him 5 more. So 7 plus 5 more. And then Isaac finds 4 more. So plus 4 more. So 7 plus 5 plus 4. And that's going to help us find out how many Isaac has in his collection. So now I need to draw a picture to help me solve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I can just count. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Isaac has 16 cards in his collection. Okay. So far we know John has 15 cards in his collection. Isaac has 16 cards in his collection. So writing out those sentences helps us remember who has how many. Now we have a third problem. John says, this is John up here, up at the top, right? Up here. John says he has more baseball cards in his collection than Isaac in his collection. So John, right? So John is saying, I have more, right? If we use our greater than symbol there, I have more than Isaac because that alligator mouth always eats that bigger number. So he is saying, I have more. But if we write down the numbers to represent John, so John had 15 and Isaac had 16. If we write those numbers down, is 15 greater than 16? Is 15 greater than 16? So the answer is no. 16 is greater. So do you agree with John? And then explain why or why not. Use greater than, less than, or equal to in your explanation. So what an explanation would look like would be saying, no, I do not agree with John. Because John has 15 cards and Isaac has 16 cards. So since 15 is less than 16, Isaac has more than John. Okay, so that's only 2 sentences, and you've got to be able to verbalize and explain. If you agree, you need to be able to solve it and write it out and show how you got to that decision, and then explain why or why not. So this is definitely first grade capable questions. You are able to solve 3-part questions out and be able to explain yourself. So I have no doubt that all of my first graders could come to this conclusion on their own and write out their explanation. No, I do not agree with John, because John has 15, Isaac has 16. 15 is less than 16. So Isaac has more than John. So you're defending your answer. That's what I want you to work on. Solving out these problems and then explaining yourself. So I've walked you through this first one. I am not going to be as descriptive and helpful on the remaining 4 tasks, but this is mainly for parents. I wanted you to see the thinking process and what that expectation there is for your first grader. After you all complete the task, I do want you to find the PBS lesson. I put the first 5 lessons questions in your packet that I sent home. And today you're going to watch PBS lesson number 1. It is on YouTube under the Tennessee Department of Education. And I also have the video link actually posted under your assignments today. So it'll take you straight to that YouTube link anyway. So you'll watch the lesson. You'll work through some sample problems with that teacher, review these skills, and then she will send you off to do this page on your own. And so you are going to be working with adding within 10, using the strategy making a 10 by drawing. So using these 10 frames. And this is a 10 frame. When you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boxes, 5 on top, 5 on the bottom, that's a 10 frame. And you use the circles. You can use pennies. You can just draw. You can use pieces of rice, whatever you want to use to place in the boxes. 2 different color crayons. It actually says use 2 different colors to model the story. So you are reading the word problem and then you're drawing the picture to show it and answering it. So they model one for you. She's going to model several in the lesson, and then you're going to have 5 more that you're going to solve on your own. Okay, so I will put this up as an answer key on Class Dojo each day, but really you're going to watch a different teacher teach it just to help you review and hear it from someone different, and then you can check back to see the answer key on Class Dojo. But other than that, just be working on those tasks. We're going to do 1 task a day this week. If you need 2 days to do it, that's fine. Spread those out, but we're going to do 1 PBS lesson a day for the next 2 weeks. So this week and next week. Well, it'll really take us through the 3rd week too. It'll be 10 days worth of PBS lessons. So if you'll have any other questions, please let me know about the lesson today.